What's up? It's Samuel Leeds here, and this week, Winners on a Wednesday, we have the new and improved version of Samuel Leeds.
Hi.
Dude, you're killing it, bro.
Thanks.
So this is Nathan Winch. Nathan, you have done how many deals?
I've done about 8 deals.
8 property deals?
Yeah.
Mixture of deals?
Yeah, mixture
No
of
money
deals.
down? And how did you get all the knowledge to do all these deals?
So essentially it was just from watching your videos, really. So I didn't really do any of the courses or anything.
That is crazy, dude!
Yeah, exactly. So over the past sort of 4 months, I've done those deals just from watching the YouTube videos, and then I kind of then took it a stage further and
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So you've done what? Tell me. I know you've packaged and sold some deals. Like, how much did you make last week?
Last week, probably about £3,500.
£3.5 grand last week.
Yeah.
How about the week before?
Oh, you put me on the spot. The week before, about £13,500.
£13,500 in a week. High five or fist bump.
Fist bumps.
And lease option agreements.
Yep.
How many of those have you done?
I've done 4 of those.
So you've done 4
4.
lease option agreements. What is a lease option agreement?
So it's essentially where you kind of take on a property, the owners can't really sell, they've got limited options, you know, there might be negative equity or something like that, so you kind of offer to pay their mortgage and the bills and everything, take on the repairs, and then you can let it out as though it's your property, so you can benefit from the cash flow and the capital appreciation, because of course they can only
So you have all the perks
Yeah.
of buying a house without putting any money down.
any money down, just legals.
Buy now, pay later.
Yeah, essentially.
And you did that from watching my YouTube videos?
Just watching the YouTube videos. Yeah.
Dude, that's impressive. That's impressive. And then you hunted me down because you wanted to give me money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
You're like, dude, I got all these houses. I made £3.5 grand this week. I made 13 grand last week. I did it from watching YouTube. I need to give this dude some money. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
You've now joined the academy.
I have, yeah, in the last 2 weeks.
And you've not even done the crash course.
No, I did the Peterborough one.
Oh, you
The
have? You
first
just
one.
did it?
That's the first one. That's the first crash course.
So you did the crash course a few days ago. And how was that?
It was absolutely insane. Really intense, really engaging.
Do
I
you
really
wish
loved
that
it.
you'd done the crash course sooner?
I do actually. I wish I'd done that first because it's kind of like a taster of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of done things a little bit backwards, but it's worked.
And now you're on the academy now.
Yeah.
You should have done that a long time ago.
I know.
But I'm glad that you hunted me down.
Yeah.
I always say, if you become successful from reading my books or watching my videos or attending the crash course, please hunt me down because your success is my oxygen. And the fact that you have, I really appreciate that. I really honour you for that. And for looking at the figures, I know we've gone over your figures, and I know Alistair's sat with you and stuff, and we've looked into what you've done. You're killing it. I just thought, why not have you on Winners on a Wednesday? Because it'd be such an inspiration, because people watching this at home might be thinking, literally, where are people's excuses? Like, they're watching the same videos you were watching, and you've done this with no money. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about sort of your story? Why did you start? How did you even find my videos on YouTube?
So it was, I think it was a friend of mine that told me about you, and I didn't think much of it. And then I kind of came across one of your videos on YouTube, and I started watching it. And I thought, wow, this is great, because I can tell you a little bit about my background and stuff.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, I've kind of always been an entrepreneurial type. So been sort of self-employed since like the age of 20, 21. Ran a small medical business working with the NHS, and then sort of sold that in, I think it was March 2017. Bought a couple of properties, didn't really know what I was doing, and had those for a while, and then sort of in the past 4 or 5 months, been watching your videos, realised I've done everything wrong, you know, not making a great return on those properties or anything, and then started implementing from literally the YouTube videos, so lease options, things like that. And then realised that, well, you can make a much better return and kind of refinance one of the buy-to-lets, and, you know, did some interesting stuff. And
So you bought, so you did some stuff in business. You bought how many properties before you started watching my channel?
2.
So you bought 2 buy-to-let properties, but you're saying they were quite bad properties.
Yeah, when I ran the numbers based on the ROI we know how to work out now, they're quite low. Yeah.
So you bought the properties. I know you bought like a nice car and stuff like that. You're a bit of a spender.
Yeah.
Then you watched my YouTube videos about 4 months ago, and you were like, oh man, I got it all wrong.
Yeah.
So then you refinanced the properties,
Yeah.
and then you thought, I'm going to start over. But then the weird thing is, the property deals that you've been doing recently, they haven't even involved any of your money, have they?
No.
So you've still got money sat ready to invest?
So I've still got money sat ready to invest, and I think that's really interesting, because even if you've got money, you still want to try and do the best sort of deal you can, don't you? You don't want to spend money if you don't need to. So yeah, so I've just been doing sort of lease options really actively for the past few months. And those have worked really well, you know,
Yeah.
and just the lease options alone have made me financially free. So that's
incredible,
fantastic.
man. So
yeah.
all right, talk me through, if you don't mind, the figures of the lease options, because I find it really interesting. It's the same as there's a guy who came on the show called Ian Patterson.
Yeah.
He had money. I don't know if do you know his story.
I know him. Yeah.
You know him? How do you know Ian?
So I watched. I think it was the very first Winners on Wednesday.
He
wasn't it,
was
or something like that. So I watched his videos, and then I went to a property networking event where he was giving a talk, and literally just to sit down with the guy and pick his brains. Really took him out for a carvery.
Did you now?
Yeah. And he's fabulous. He's absolutely killing it. Yeah.
So I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
it's a small world.
Yeah.
But then it is if you're in the right places, like my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So Ian Patterson, same sort of thing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ian Patterson, he was working a corporate job. He had money, but he chose to do lease option agreements because in his mind he's thinking, why would I use my money when I don't have to? If I can buy a house for free, I'm not going to buy a house and pay money for it necessarily. So that's really cool. What did you learn from Ian?
I think to try and do chunks of deals all in one, because I think he does whole portfolios and lease options.
Yeah,
so,
he does now.
And it's the same effort doing a portfolio as it is trying to do one. So you may as well try and go for the bigger ticket items. But yeah, learned a lot from the guy. He's quite reserved as well. But he's a really shrewd business person. He is. He's fantastic.
He's also on the academy now. Same as you though. He came to the crash course. Just from the crash course, he went on and did all these deals, made all this money. He's now got like a 2.8 million portfolio.
Yes, yeah, I've read that, yeah.
Off the back of the crash course. His story made all newspapers and stuff after he came on Winners Wednesday, which yours probably will as well, who knows. And then he was like, dude, can I join your academy? I'm like, you can, but why didn't you do it? So same kind of story.
Yeah.
So yeah, very recently. So that's incredible. So, okay, so you watched his story, you watched some of my other videos about lease option agreements. Why don't you just tell anyone that's watching that's thinking, what on earth is a lease option agreement? What is a lease option agreement?
Yeah, so essentially, a lease option agreement is a way of acquiring a property now but paying for it later.
Yes.
So you kind of take over all the nasty bits that the landlord doesn't want, because normally it's landlords that don't want to be a landlord, or they're accidental, or it's something to do with probate or whatever, or they're in negative equity, and you kind of take it on, pay for all the bills, the mortgage, everything else, but you can rent it out and keep the returns. And obviously, because there's sort of like a restriction on the sale to just you benefit from the capital appreciation as well.
So basically, you pay the owner or the landlord enough to wash its face for them.
Exactly.
So they're not making money from it each month, but they're not losing money. If that's a mortgage or whatever it is, you pay them a small amount, which is negotiable. And then anything more than that the property rents out for is yours to keep.
Yeah.
But then also you have an option to buy that property, usually within or after so many years. How long do you run your lease options for?
They're about 10 years.
Wow,
so
nice.
Yeah, plenty of time.
You'll be an old man by then.
Exactly.
So when you're 28, so when you're 38, you'll have the option to buy them at a set price, but we all know what happens to houses over time.
We do.
They go up.
They go up, yeah.
And especially over a 10-year period.
Yeah.
So the chances are that they might even be double the value, in which case you'll have made so much money in capital appreciation, and you're also financially free from the cash flow.
Just from the cash flow,
It's got to be the best strategy.
I think it is. And especially for those that don't have a lot of money or bad credit or whatever, it's fantastic.
And we've got people that are literally, we've had an illegal immigrant come on and doing lease option agreements. It's incredible how you can buy a house that way with no credit. I mean, I'm not endorsing illegal immigrants. Yeah. What I'm saying is, regardless of your situation, it's incredible what you can do when you have the power of options.
Absolutely, yeah.
So where did you find? Was your first lease option? Was it 1 in 4, or how did it work?
They've all been individual. So
you've done well.
Yeah. So it's just sending out hundreds of letters, buying details from land registry. The old send a coloured envelope type thing.
So basically, all the stuff on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. But I did one of the lease options I did buy from a sourcer, so there's that option as well. But usually deal sourcers aren't selling them because you keep them, don't you? If you find them, you keep them.
If you find a free house, you ain't selling it unless usually it's got something wrong with it. So okay. So you've done 4 all individually. You found them on your own, apart from the one, but you've done 4 by following the strategies, sending letters. Basically, you need to just put yourself out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And talk to people.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us an example of like the most latest lease option agreement that you did. Give us the figures.
I think it was a 4-bed in Newcastle.
Yeah.
The option to buy is 100,000. I think the mortgage that I pay on there, I got the seller to change to an interest-only mortgage as well.
Very cool, very cool.
So I think.
So let me just explain that.
Yeah.
So the seller was on a repayment mortgage.
Yes.
But it'll be more simple.
Yeah.
Why did you change it to interest only?
For cash flow. So so that was really the only payment I'd have to make because it was a single let.
Yes.
So the mortgage is really the only payment I make. So I think
how
get
much
that
is
as
that
low
now?
as possible. So I think it's about £98 a month.
So £98 a month to the mortgage, 4-bed HMO. How much are you renting that out for?
Well, it's not HMO. It's a single let. So it's to a family, but it's £450 a month. Yeah.
Okay. So you're making a few £100 on that. And then the others, if you add them all up together, how much cash flow are you making?
So I don't know the lease options on their own, but all the properties together, it's about £3,000 a month, and I think the net on that is about £1,700–1,800 a month.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. So £1,700–1,800 a month. That is your average salary.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is like your average salary.
Yeah.
So you're now making your average salary in passive income. On top of that, you're sourcing properties and passing them on. You made 13 grand in a day.
Yeah.
In a day.
In a day.
That was after this. Let me just say, this is the difference. You were doing YouTube videos and you were doing really well. But you then came on one of our advanced trainings.
I did, yeah.
And how was that?
That was fantastic. So that was the one-day deal selling masterclass with Alistair.
And that's when things blew up.
That's when things blew up. And I thought the more I do these things, the more I get involved, the more successful I am. So I kind of...
How much did you make after going on that program? Was it a direct result of that program when you made your 13 grand?
It was a direct result of that program. Yeah. So we were given like a little booklet. And, and I implemented the booklet exactly as it said.
Yeah.
That was it. I think it was... I became compliant on the Friday and did that deal on the Monday.
Yeah.
So, because it takes quite a while to become compliant, and then sent the deals out to the list, and they sold in about 4 or 5 hours of selling.
And the £13,000, that's in your bank right now?
That is, yeah, and that's, I think the terms have expired on that, so that's mine, yeah.
Your money, man?
Yeah.
That's incredible, bro. High five. That is so cool. And that, I think that's the power. The thing is, when you invest in yourself, you will always see a return. Yeah. Like, you can invest in property and make a 20% or a 50% return, but that money that you invested in yourself, you've probably already made 100% return, probably more. Well, you have.
Yeah.
That's incredible, buddy. That's incredible. So what would you advise yourself if you were talking to the 12-month younger version of yourself? What would you say?
Education, I think. Education.
Yeah.
Get into some education, you know, whether it's paid or whatever, you know, read some books, read more books, watch your YouTube videos, of course, and just teach yourself, because although I was already kind of in property, I was doing it all wrong and the returns were abysmal. I could, you know, I'd probably need like 100 of those houses to be financially free. They were that bad. So yeah, a little bit of education and yeah, you've got to teach yourself, because it is the most important investment by far. I
totally believe that. What would you have thought 4 months ago when you first started watching me on YouTube? If you'd have known that, fast forward 4 months, you'd be sat here with me on Winners Wednesday, completely financially free, able to make £13,000 in a day. What would you have thought?
I'd have said, no, I would have been a bit sceptical.
Yeah.
I would have been a bit sceptical. I would have said, well, how can you make that money, you know, if you're starting with not a lot, and, you know, but it's possible. It's possible. That's
so great.
Yeah.
So what are your next steps?
I want to double the property portfolio by the end of the year, which it's not a massive goal. I mean, it's doable.
Very. Well, you're on the academy now, so
I'm on the academy now,
you should
so
be able to do
hold me
that
to
in
account. Yeah.
3 months. You should be able to do that if you're on the academy.
Yeah. So don't hold me to that. But yeah, it's great. So yeah, so to get more property, whether that's lease options or whatever, it doesn't have to be. Do more deals. I think I'm averaging 1 to 2 deals a week.
Yeah.
So I think the overall income, including the properties, is about 10,000 a month, something like that. So, which is massive from just 4 months ago. You know, and I've only just joined the academy as well. So, you know, expecting big things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's so good. Talk to me, Nathan, about mindset, because you know it sounds so easy. You could watch this interview and you could think, oh, that's easy. He just bought a house for no money, and isn't it? But so many people fail. So most people that watch my YouTube channel, you're in the top 1%. You know, not only have you taken the action and invested in yourself, which most people won't do, but you've also sent the letters, made the calls. There must have been down days. There must have been days when you thought, am I wasting my time here? There must have been times when people told you were stupid. Like, No, yes?
Yes,
No.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's as with anything in life, isn't it? When you try and kind of aim higher, people try and pull you down. So you've got to, I think mindset is 90% of it actually, and 10% of it actually doing the deals and knowing the stuff. I think the mindset is incredibly important. But like I say, I've always been sort of an implementer, and you know, if I decide I want to do something, I'm going to do it. So yeah, that's helped. But yeah, no, I agree. I think mindset's probably the most important thing that you've got to have first, and then education. Put the two together, and you know, good things happen.
And the advantage of when you started is that number one, you've been successful in business. So you've got that business mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and you understand what makes a good deal. Number two, although you'd bought a couple of properties and they weren't particularly good houses, you understood the process.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe one of the reasons why you've skyrocketed so fast. Not to give anybody else an excuse, but I mean, geez, 13 grand in a day. Like, that's straight after training, bang.
Yeah, I didn't really know anything about sourcing, you know, so until I started reading. Well, I didn't even know anything about lease options. I thought they were only for commercial property. And then I started watching your videos and I thought, well, why am I not doing this? And then, you know, start writing the letters, start sending them out. It's
what's your background? Have you got like everything you touch turns to gold life?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, but it's just I'm just an implementer. I take risks and I go out there and tell everybody what I'm doing and that sort of thing. And you know, say yes now and worry about what to do later. I think.
But all the stuff you say now, that's the real stuff that you know.
Yeah.
You could talk about lease options, but the real. People could understand lease options all day long, but unless they're this stuff, prepared to take action, prepared to take a risk, you know, prepared to look silly, prepared to say, I'm a property investor, when you haven't actually got any properties. That on the basis that you're speaking it out because you know it will happen.
Yeah.
To be prepared to spend money on programs, to invest in yourself, in faith that it will pay off because you know that you're going to implement.
Exactly, 100%.
I mean, that's the stuff that makes you successful.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's the stuff. Like, tell me about the crash course. What did you learn?
I'll tell you something that I learned, which was really interesting, was the way you find the postcode of the property. So when you were on Rightmove, I'm like, we don't know the postcode of this property, and you click on the sort of the broadband finder. I was like, the whole training course was worth just that one little thing. That saved me so much time now. That is insane. But no, it's just the whole thing was brilliant. It was really intense, but I guess it's a test to see, because you kept us there till like 11 at night, like genuinely.
14-hour day.
14-hour day, 2 of them. It was brilliant. But yeah, I think that's you. But you've got to be willing to do that to make these deals happen, haven't you? So you've got that. That's every day. For someone doing this. So,
but it goes fast, I imagine.
Oh, it goes fast, yeah, because you're engaged and you're up and you've got to, you know, jumping up and down, and it's brilliant. It's fantastic.
It's sometimes people say, you know, 14 hours. What people have got to remember is it's not 14 hours me on stage, because a lot of the day you're doing stuff. You're making phone calls. You're online. You're on Rightmove. You know, you're doing stuff. So no, that's really cool. Okay, what advice would you give to someone watching this who was maybe a young guy in their 20s or whatever, or anyone, but just someone that's really hungry, they haven't got a lot of money to start with? What would be the best steps for them to take right now as a result of this?
Read a book and just do it. Do it. You know, get your hands dirty and get in there. I mean, like I said before, sort of saying yes and worrying about it later. Yeah, I've got my hands burnt a few times, but you know, I'm now able to just take the day off to come here whenever I want. You know, it's not going to affect me.
What have been the most influential books that have helped you?
Yourself, Buy Low, Rent High.
I appreciate that.
And then I read Simon Zucchi's book, The Property Magic.
Great book.
Great book. Fantastic.
And he's a great guy.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's brilliant. And just watching the YouTube videos, I guess. And I think your passion and energy is really, you know, it's rubbed off a little bit because you know, you've got to be active, haven't you, and want to do it.
100%. 100%. That's so cool. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Not a problem.
I hope to see you kill it. I'm going to be holding you to account.
I know you will.
If you don't do any more lease option agreements in the next few months, you're going to be punched in the mouth. So no, you're going to be so successful. And I'm so glad that you joined the academy. And again, thank you for hunting me down. Thank you for putting faith in yourself, but also in our training. And I'm glad to see that it's paying off.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Nathan.
Cheers. Cheers.
My name's Samuel Leeds. Thank you for watching Winners on a Wednesday. Every single week, we interview our success students for your inspiration. You can watch more right here on the playlist. There's a whole playlist of them. But what you'll notice is every single winner on a Wednesday, it always starts with them coming to my 2-day crash course. So if you would like to be a winner on a Wednesday, literally come on my crash course, and who knows, in 3 months' time, you could be here in my offices on this show as a winner on a Wednesday. So get yourself booked on the crash course, watch more, have fun. I'll see you next week.